It's been nearly 5 years since Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, often referred to as MH370, disappeared without a trace, and its unknown fate has been one of the most talked about mysteries ever. The plane vanished on March 8, 2014, en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, and has since become one of the world's biggest aviation mysteries. There have been 2 official searches, but neither has ever produced concrete evidence of what happened to the plane. Ahead of the 5-year anniversary, Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad has promised to continue the search for it. Hi there, Facts Buff. Welcome to The Insiders, your favorite channel for all top 10s. Today, we're going to talk about the spooky and tragic facts about the missing Malaysian airliner. But before diving in, please hit the red subscribe button and click the bell icon to get notified of every new video we post. So without any further delay, here we go. Number 10. MH370 disappeared less than 40 minutes after takeoff. MH370 took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport, Malaysia at 12:41 a.m. local time, heading north on its way to the Beijing Capital International Airport in China. Roughly 38 minutes after takeoff, the crew communicated with air traffic control when it was over the South China Sea. The last message was, "Good night, Malaysian 370. Though it was off radar screens minutes later, military radar was able to track it for another hour. It then deviated from its planned flight path, crossing the Malay Peninsula and Andaman Sea. It left radar range roughly 180 miles northwest of Penang Island in northwestern Malaysia. The aircraft was carrying 12 Malaysian crew members and 227 passengers from 14 different nations. All have been presumed dead. Number 9. The search for the missing plane became the most costly in aviation history. The search that began in March 2014 focused initially on the South China and Andaman Seas before analysis of the aircraft's automated communications with a satellite identified a possible crash site somewhere in the southern Indian Ocean. The search was carried out by Malaysia, China, and Australia, but an additional 23 countries also helped. It cost a total of $150 million before it was officially called off in January 2017, roughly 3 years after the plane's original disappearance. Some parts of the ocean that were searched were as deep as 6,000 meters. The original search area was as big as 4.6 million square kilometers before being narrowed down to 120,000 square kilometers. A second search was carried out by Ocean Infinity, a United States-based company. The company said it would not charge a fee unless it found the aircraft. After a 90-day sweep of 112,000 square kilometers of the southern Indian Ocean, Ocean Infinity said it found nothing. That search ended in late May 2018. Number 8. Malaysia's Prime Minister said the search for MH370 will continue as long as there is hope. Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad, speaking to CNN affiliate 9 News Australia, said the search will continue. For as long as there is hope, we will continue to think of ways and means to find out the plane's fate, he said this weekend, adding, "We intend to continue." Losing an aircraft is one thing, but losing people is something else, Mahathir said. You can't sleep thinking about what happened. You keep on asking yourself that question, and you get no answer. Mahathir made the remarks in an interview with Danica Weeks, whose husband Paul was one of the 239 on board the plane when it vanished. It was the first time Mahathir met with a relative of one of the victims. Number 7. Experts think the plane was steered off course intentionally, but it's not clear who did that or why. In July 2018, the Malaysian government released a 1,500-page report that gave no definitive answers as to the fate of the airliner. Investigators believe it was likely steered off course deliberately, flown over the southern Indian Ocean for more than 7 hours after it last communicated with air traffic control, and then likely crashed somewhere in the ocean. Available evidence led investigators to believe that the deviation from its flight course was done manually rather than by autopilot, and also said that a transponder was switched off. But the report found no indication of who might have interfered or why. There have been unverified conspiracy theories swirling around MH370's disappearance in the years since, including purposeful suicide or murder by the pilot, Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah. Some believed the plane landed somewhere. A Cambodia jungle has been the top destination, and others think it was either hijacked by a passenger or hijacked remotely and digitally by a foreign power, such as North Korea. But there have been no firm conclusions, and the plane's black boxes have yet to have been found. There has been confirmed debris from the plane, which has washed ashore on African beaches and Indian Ocean islands, but that is it. Number 6. A different Malaysia Airlines flight was shot down by a missile later in 2014. Malaysia Airlines Flight 17, known as MH17, was a passenger flight that departed Amsterdam on its way to Kuala Lumpur on July 17, 2014, when it was shot down by a surface-to-air missile while flying over war-torn eastern Ukraine. All 283 passengers and 15 crew on board were killed, and the incident became the deadliest airliner shoot-down in history. The Buk missile was fired from within rebel-controlled territory in Ukraine by a mobile launcher brought in from Russia. The joint investigation between the Netherlands and Australia concluded last year. Russia has consistently denied any involvement. Despite the back-to-back tragedies and public lashings, a recent poll by research from YouGov found that Malaysian Airlines is still a much-loved brand among the country's citizens. Malaysia Airlines Index score, which measures overall brand health, remains high amongst Malaysians and currently stands at 32.3, according to the analysis released in March. Number 5. The search for MH370 covered a space about the size of Pennsylvania. The search for the missing plane encompassed more than 46,000 square miles across the southern stretch of the Indian Ocean, about 772 miles off the coast of Perth, Australia. The search briefly covered nearly 3 million square miles, or 1.5% of the Earth's surface, a week after the crash, before satellite data refined the scope of the investigation. Number 4. Conspiracy theorists have taken great interest in the event. The unprecedented scale of the search effort and the lack of any conclusive evidence has attracted a wide range of theories over what happened. While the more reliable theories have surfaced around a cockpit fire or a number of mechanical failures that would have led the captain to divert from the planned route to Beijing in an attempt to land at the Malaysian airstrip in Pulau Langkawi before ultimately plunging into the ocean. Others have insisted a hijacking occurred at the hands of Russia or militants of the Islamic State group, also known as ISIS. Some also theorized a regional military or the U.S. shot it down by accident. Number 3. The missing passengers and crew came from 14 countries. More than half of those aboard, 153, were Chinese citizens. All 12 crew members plus 38 passengers were Malaysian. There were also 7 passengers from Indonesia, 6 from Australia, 5 from India, 4 from France, 3 from the United States, 2 from Canada, 2 from New Zealand, 2 from Ukraine, 1 from the Netherlands, 1 from Russia, 1 from Taiwan, and 2 Iranians traveling under false Italian and Australian passports. Number 2. Possible life insurance scam. In March 2014, Malaysian police refused to rule out the possibility that the entire incident may have been a complicated insurance scam. Maybe somebody on the flight has bought a huge sum of insurance who wants family to gain from it, or somebody who has owed somebody so much money, we're looking at all possibilities, Ted Sansri Khalid Abu Bakar, Malaysia's Inspector General of Police. At the time, authorities said they would consider all possible motives, no matter how unlikely they seemed, and would investigate all passengers and crew for any sign of unusual behavior. Number 1. Possible pilot suicide. Pilot suicide was cited as a possible cause behind the crash of a Silk Air flight from Jakarta to Singapore in 1997 that killed 104 people. It was also a possible reason for the crash of an Egypt Air flight from Los Angeles to Cairo in 1999, killing 218 people. But investigations into both crashes were inconclusive, and no evidence has emerged that this could have been behind the latest incident. We here at The Insiders sincerely hope that the people on the flight are still alive somehow, and that this mystery can be solved, and the perpetrators, if any, must be punished to the fullest extent of the law. Well, that's it for this video. For more top 10s like this, be sure to hit the like button and share it with your friends. We will see you again in the next segment of The Insiders. Until then, check out our other top 10 videos on this channel.